Hey guys.
Hello, crowd.
I'm going to ensure that I'm hosting you right now.
Oh snap, there's actually a couple people watching.
It only seems proper.
Well, we're in for an interesting night. This is going to be character creation for the Delta Green game that we'll be running on our Notorious DMG. All right,
Yes.
so we are going to use the quick start rules for character generation just because, we're just going to be running a story arc that's going to go 3 episodes, maybe 3.5, just depending on how things work out. So the premise behind this is that all of your characters have served in the military, and at one time or another served together, and you all were given a certain psychological profile testing that got you a certain little green triangle slapped to the jacket of your profile, and you were individually pulled into missions where odd things happened. Brushes with the supernatural, um, fighting in Vietnam. You were often tasked to eliminate entire villages of strange natives with shark-like teeth, practicing strange rites and rituals that your government did not want to come to fruition. So your base character is all going to be from the soldier background. If you click the pin link that is in our Delta Green chat channel, you will see your of skills that everybody starts with. And so these percentages replace the percentage on the character sheet. And if you're in roll 20, I have players 1, 2, and 3. It looks like someone's already claimed one there. You guys open that up, there is actually a character sheet we can fill out here. So the skills listed under the soldier profession will directly replace the skill percentage that's already on the sheet. So there are base percentages, just like Call of Cthulhu and other BRP games have. So instead of this adding to the base percentage, the number that you're given there completely replaces it. All right, you guys got that?
Yes.
Kinda.
Now,
Sort of. You'll
all right.
walk us through it, Bert. I believe
Yeah,
in you.
we'll figure it out.
We'll pop
I'll
open
take
a
your
character
hand and go
sheet.
on this journey with you.
So if you'll pop open a character sheet and go under the skills tab.
Alright, I am there.
I like that. Are we all humans?
Yes, there are only humans in this game in Delta Green.
Making sure.
Art.
So everybody has the
this
skills
point.
of alertness, athletics, bureaucracy, drive, firearms, first aid, military science, land, navigate, persuade, and unarmed combat. And then you've got a list of skills beneath that you can choose 3 of them. And this is where you would pick your specialty, right? So every soldier has the same base training kit, but then you can specialize. So artillery, computer science, craft, and it's choose one. So it's craft at a specific thing.
Okay.
Demolitions, foreign language, again, choose the language. Heavy machinery, heavy weapons, search, SIGINT, which is signal intelligence, and swim. So you get 3 from that list. I know one of you wanted to have played a medic, for instance. Yeah, I'll explain how that's done after we do this part of it, because you'll get more points.
So all of the numbers you've put into the Discord for us, basically plug that into our character sheet. For
Yes.
like alertness 50%, athletics 50%. Okay, easy enough.
Military science land is the same as ground, right?
Yes.
Cool.
What about our actual abilities? So like strength, constitution, dexterity, all that stuff.
Well, we'll get to that next. Again, we're using a quick start, so they're just set numbers that you're just going to plug in.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was clicking on the character sheet and I went in the wrong spot. Okay, so plug in all the professional skills on the skill part.
Correct. At the top part, and then towards the bottom, it says choose 3 from. Just make your choice of the 3 into that list and add those as well.
Okay. I like that.
Military
Should we
trained.
put our difficulty? What should we put it at?
Oh, don't worry about that yet. That's actually when you're in game. Like, so if I say that the difficulty is easy, you would check the easy mark, and then you would hit the die to roll, and it would add that either plus or minus to your roll.
Oh, that
Bam.
is cool.
All right, I got
You
mine
get
set.
rid of all the other percentages that they automatically put in there.
Yeah, just if it's already pre-filled in with a number, just leave those numbers. That's the base number for the skill, because some skills you don't have to be trained in. Everybody has a certain amount of skill with.
Okay.
All right.
No.
Everybody sound off when you've got that part of it.
I'm good. I went
Oh,
with
stop being fast, guys. Okay.
yeah.
I'm still plugging mine in. Don't worry. I am not going fast.
I went with what do I want? Artillery, demo, and heavy weapons.
Sorry, what was Signet? What did that stand for?
Signal intelligence. That's like intercepting like radio waves, tapping into telephones, that sort of thing.
Because I wanted to play a medic, so it's not on the 3 there, but would I be able to like choose like surgery or something like that in this
You will
situation,
be
or
able
medicine?
to, once we're done.
Okay.
So this is representing the common soldier. This is when you were a green soldier just getting into the
Gotcha.
military.
Gotcha. Basic training.
There you go. Yep.
Ooh, firearms trainings. Oh, dang it. Okay, I don't know if this is just me, but like for some reason, whenever I click the skills thing, it like forced it to go away. I click it.
Are you running Firefox? I've noticed that depending on the browser, this particular sheet works better or worse for some people.
Switch
Yeah,
over to Firefox.
I'm in Firefox and it is glitchy.
Yeah, this one
I was in
prefer
Chrome.
Chrome for some reason.
I am in Firefox, and it's working okay, but I got to use Firefox to keep OBS happy.
Yep.
Oh, I want it to be my default. Ooh, foreign language. I love that.
I am going to take foreign language, and I think I'm going to take Russian.
Keep in mind the time, 1974. Of course, you would have gone to the military earlier than that. So Vietnam is the big thing right now.
I'm going to take Russian, seeing as how we're in the height of the Cold War.
Okay. I gotta brush up on my old modern day history. Ancient history just to make all my fantasy things work.
There's a box next to each of the skills. Do you know if it matters whether or not we click them?
That's for in game. Once you have
Oh.
failed a skill, you click it, and you can have a chance to make it better at the end of the mission.
Gotcha. It's like BRP.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. I have my skills filled in. I plugged my stats in earlier also because I saw that array that we got to choose
All
from.
right, well,
so
you
I went
guys
ahead
can
and
get
did that.
started on that. Those of you that are finished. So if you look at the top of the pen, there are 3 sets of stats. You're either well-rounded, focused, or highly focused. So well-rounded gives you 13, 13, 12, 12, 11, 11. And again, it's on the pen. If I'm talking too fast, you can look at the pen and see these. Focused is 15, 14, 12, 11, 10, 10. And highly focused is 17, 14, 12, 10, 10, 9. And then you can arrange those into your stats however you want.
Oh, just because I'm still on the skills page, could you explain the skills that I get to actually choose? Like, what exactly would I use computer science for?
In this case, since we're in 1974, computer science is fairly limited. It would be you have a knowledge of the big like ENIAC and VAX systems, which are some of the first like reel-to-reel computer systems. So you would have a chance of actually knowing what the hell one is and how to use it, whereas a layperson that's put into this room with gigantic spinning tapes who would have no idea what it is or how to get any information out of it.
And then what would I use heavy machinery for?
Backhoes, plows, things like that.
Okay. And heavy weapons.
Anything that's not man portable, so like a weapon that's mounted to a car, for instance, something that's tripod mounted.
Hmm. And then what's a SIGINT or SIGINT?
Signals intelligence. Again, it is on knowing how to intercept phone calls, radio transmissions, that sort of thing.
Ooh. Hmm. There's a craft thing. Can I actually learn how to craft things?
Yes, and it's choose one, so it would be craft something specific. Like you could be a craft in what, masonry, plumbing, woodworking, electrician.
And smithing?
Yeah, sure.
And search is basically investigation checks, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then once you've got that, just plug in your stats, whichever of those you want to use, well-rounded, focused, or highly focused. The rest of you guys, what you can do now is you have a pool. You can pick 8 skills, and they can be skills you already have chosen, or they can be skills that you haven't chosen. And you can pick 8 of them, and you can improve them by 20%. So let's say you pick a skill that has a base chance in it already. Unlike what we just did, this 20% will add to that base chance. Okay.
Okay.
If you pick a skill you already have, let's say first aid, for instance, you're going to add a 20% on top of that 40% for a 60%. You can double up if you want to be really good at first aid, for instance. Instead of just putting one of your 20% picks there, you can put 2 of your 20% picks there, or as many as you'd like, but no skill over 80%.
Do we just manually type in that number in the text box?
Just add it into the percentage box.
So
Okay.
I don't have anything like the bases are 0 in all of them. But I'm just kind of reading your description here. It says if it's a professional skill, then you add to your current score. If it's not a professional skill, so would these be a professional skill based off the profession that I'm selecting, or no?
Okay, so these 8 skills that you can choose now can go to any skill, any skill at all, even ones that are not from your professional list.
Well,
Now, if you look at the skill,
I don't have a
well,
professional list.
you do. Alertness, athletics, bureaucracy. Your professional
Oh,
list is the soldier list.
gotcha. Okay, never mind. Silly
Now,
question.
if you look at the skill list, for instance, first aid, and then in
Mm-hmm.
quote in brackets it says 10%. 10% is the base. So let's say you take a skill you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say occult. Base is 10%. If you wanted to assign one of your 20% to this one of your 8 picks, it would go to 30% because the
Right.
base is 10.
Okay.
Okay. So where do I click in order to get the choices for like stuff?
I'm sorry, say that again. Where do you click to what?
So on the stats, you said that I had a choice of well-rounded, specialized. Like, how do I figure that out?
Okay, again, go to the pen in the Delta Green chat. The same place that you got the list of professional skills. It's at the. Oh wait, you know what? It's not penned. Hold on. Let me.
I've got it right here. I'll put it in
Okay.
the roll 20.
Yeah, that would be useful, all in one place.
Mm.
There you go.
And then what is power?
Okay, power is it's what is used to fuel spells if a person ever does get magic. Two, it's also kind of your force of personality.
It's
I'm
my
sorry,
force of.
personality. Did I cut off there?
Yeah. So is charisma? Is it sort of like charisma blended in with magic?
Charisma is not. Those are two separate stats, charisma and power. Although, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once here. Um, think of power like your life essence, right? Charisma is your force of character, like how you come across to other people, that sort of thing. But then certain people just have a certain energy about them, like they're just kind of full of life. That's kind of what power is.
Okay.
You said we get 8 of those. We can increase by 20%.
Yes, and you can double up, like, so they don't have to be 8 individual skills. You can say, well, I'm going to put 2 of my 8 picks into the same skill, or 3, or however many you want. You just can't go over 80% in a skill.
Okay.
So whoever wanted to be the medic, this is where you can start getting a lot of those medical background skills, or pump up your first aid to be better at that, however you want to define it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I did. I bumped up my first aid and then bought some points in medicine and surgery.
All right.
And the next part's going to be the fun part. Let's make sure everybody catches up before we go there.
Thank you. I have 20% 20% that I can increase.
Yes. Let's just call them 8 picks, because you can put multiple picks on the same skill if you want.
Okay.
And each pick is 20%.
No,
And again, that could be in anything. It doesn't have to be in skills you already have.
Bureaucracy is like persuasion checks and whatnot.
Bureaucracy is specifically knowing how to navigate bureaucracy. Like if you're trying to requisition something, if you're trying to figure out what paperwork is necessary to get a permit, that sort of thing.
So these ranges that we're putting in this percentile, what's considered to be like good at something? Like
Actually, I have that in the chart. Give me just 1 second.
okay. Like I'm presuming, like I bumped a handful of mine up to like with those picks. I got some that are at 40%. I think one's at 50%.
So 30 to 39% is like a college minor.
Okay.
Anything below that is you're just kind of a dabbler. 40% and up is like a college major. 60% and up is like you have decades of experience. 80% and up is people that have, you may be the best in your field.
Okay. Very cool.
Thank you for that.
One interesting thing to note on Delta Green is you don't roll for everything. The way it goes is you only roll when it matters. So if you're not under, let's take a doctor. Okay, let's say you're not in the middle of a gunfight. You're not having a countdown to an explosive going off in your pants. You're gonna succeed if you have the skill. You're a doctor. You're gonna succeed. You only roll when there's pressure or stress put into the situation.
Okay.
So that's why, for instance, let's say drive at 20%. 24% is the average of the population. So, this is why everyone doesn't wreck driving to work. No roll necessary. If it's a normal everyday, no stress involved, you're going to just drive fine.
Cool.
There's a 10-car pile up in front of you, however,
Right.
you might fail.
All right.
I'm all set with the skills.
All set. So you've got your stats and your skills all figured. Everyone's good.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. As I said, your characters have already gone on some very mentally damaging missions in Vietnam, likely, as you are all soldiers from that. So this is where each of you get to pick, and let's start with DM Chuck. So DM Chuck, you are broken in some way mentally. And this is going to give you both a bonus and a drawback. That's the other thing about Delta Green agents. You are not good people. You try your hardest, but you're not. You're all broken people in some way because of your exposure to things that just really shouldn't exist. You, unlike most people, though, have a drive to fight back against it instead of just kind of giving into it. But regardless of that, you're on a fine balance between being able to relate to normal people. So this next part kind of goes over that. You have 4 choices, and you're going to go into a little bit of background as to why this was your choice. So the first choice is extreme violence. You are subjected to enough violence during your term that you're just completely adapted to it. Much like Call of Cthulhu, you make sanity checks against certain things. Well, violence is a thing that most people have to make sanity checks against. You don't, if that is the one you choose. You have seen so much violence in your life, it does nothing to you. The next one is captivity or imprisonment. You were held for some time in not so good conditions, and it makes you adapted to helplessness, which is another thing you would make a check against. The next one would be hard experience. Just all around, you lived through some really bad things, and you came out the wiser for it. But it's left its scar. What this one does is it gives you some more skill points to add to more skills. And each of these does have a drawback, but I'm not going to tell you the drawback until you tell me what your experience was. And the last thing is things man was not meant to know. So you have had a definite supernatural experience. You've come across a creature, a monster, or something just unexplainable. So which one of those 4 things broke you?
Man, I really want to go with the extreme violence. I think I'm gearing towards being like demo and stuff, so I think seeing a few exploded people here and there, seeing
All
the
right.
aftermath of my hard work. I think that would fit what I'm trying to hit.
Okay. So here's what it does to you. First of all, you add 10% to your occult skill.
Okay.
Again, since you spent this tour and you were doing these things against the supernatural, everyone's going to pick up a little bit of occult from these, regardless of what you choose. The next thing that happens is you reduce your sanity by 5.
Oh.
Your sanity should have self-calculated.
What page is that on?
It's on your stat tab, I believe.
Okay.
I'm going to open up a character here so I can follow along.
Sanity, violence, helpless. So I'm gonna click adapted to violence.
Yeah, at the very bottom, you see
sanity.
derived attributes: hit points, willpower points, sanity, and breaking.
Okay.
So under sanity, you have a maximum and a current.
Reduce the maximum.
Actually, it doesn't say. So we're gonna do it as drop your current for
Okay.
now. I'm gonna have to research that a bit more.
Okay.
But for now, drop your current by 5 points.
Cool.
Also, drop 3 points from your charisma.
Oh.
Having been exposed to this much violence makes you kind of a dodgy character.
Okay.
You've got that stare that makes people uncomfortable.
That I can handle. All right.
All right, and this will also come up next. We haven't done it yet, or is bonds. when you drop your charisma by 3, it actually drops your score on your bonds by the same amount. Each bond is given a ranking equal to your charisma. So we're
Okay.
going to do that at the end here.
Okay.
So extreme violence was your thing. You are adapted to violence. Violence means nothing to you. Huzzah.
Just put 1 tick in that violence.
Oh, no. Put all 3.
Oh.
All 3 out.
Oh,
You're
wow.
fully adapted.
All right. Cool.
All right, Matt.
Yeah. I like the things man was not meant to know. He has seen some things in his time overseas. I kind of built him with it. He dabbled and he has an interest in the occult, and he got a little too close to some truths, and it's broken him now.
All right, very good. So you're going to add 10% to your unnatural skill and 20% to occult.
Okay.
This is the hard one. You're going to reduce your sanity by your power. Whatever your power is, you're removing that from your sanity.
All right, so my power is 11. Sanity's. Oh, wow. Okay.
You've also picked up a disorder. All right, so we're going to figure that now. Give me a second.
I'm so glad I get to wait to the end to pick mine because now
right?
everything I don't want.
Actually, talking to you, if you're going to keep the same idea for your character, we can actually streamline this a bit because you are drug dependent now.
Yes, that was the original idea for the character. So that fits in with the disorder that he has a substance abuse problem.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead and make that officially part of your character and give him addiction.
Okay. To try and make the things disappear that he saw.
Yeah. Basically, once you've withdrawn for too long, you're at a minus 20 penalty until you actually get your hit.
Okay.
But there is a period. It's not a oh, I didn't use today, so I'm at a minus 20 all day. It's, there's a period of it's gone. You've been too long. And if you don't get your fix, it gets nasty. All right.
Okay.
I believe give me a second. Let me make sure nothing else happens. Reset your agent's breaking point, which is already auto-calculated. And I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. Is it Kali? Kaylee?
Just fix it.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Okay.
Is he low for everyone else? I'm not hearing.
Yeah,
you.
you're breaking up there, Khalil.
Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of wasn't talking to my mic. Just call me K. It's a lot easier.
Kay, it's easier. All right, Kay. Which would you like?
I'm thinking about going with the helplessness because I'm thinking of my character being like this, infiltrating not assassin, but spy type guy who's meant to go behind enemy lines, get captured in order to get intel, almost like Black Widow-ish.
Sure. Yeah. So at some point you were captured and were treated rather harshly. Again, add 10% to your occult.
I'll add 10% to what?
To your occult skill.
All right.
Probably captured by a group of occultists wanting to sacrifice you to their dark god. Their dark god, Benny.
Oh.
That's right. Benny, the dark god.
Me?
Joke. Okay, so also reduce your sanity by 5. And
reduce my sanity by how much?
Yeah, reduce sanity by 5. So your current sanity, just drop it by 5 points. And reduce your power by 3.
By how much?
3 points.
All right, so I'm not being a spellcaster at all.
Right, but you are adapted to helplessness. So under adapted to insanity, you can make 3 check marks off of adapted under helplessness. And if you'll notice, you can only be adapted to violence and helplessness. No one ever becomes adapted to the unnatural. No one.
That shit's wild no matter how many times you see it.
Exactly. All right, so now we have some idea of how your special tours of duty have really influenced. So the next part is bonds. These are the things that keep you normal, that kind of keep you grounded in what it is you're actually fighting for. So initially, you start with 4 bonds, but some of the choices you just made have reduced your bonds. Okay, we're going to go in reverse order, so we'll start with K this time. Bonds are people. Okay, they could be spouses, friends, coworkers, that sort of thing. So uh, I don't think any of your bonds were none of your bonds were reduced. So you have 4 bonds. So pick 4 people.
Probably go with role model for him. Go for now. What was that?
Okay. Let me just explain what bonds are
Okay.
as well. In game terms, bonds are a blade of armor. They are what protect you from going insane, but much like armor, once they start taking damage, your connection with them start to deteriorate to the point where you will eventually lose contact or you will alienate your bonds.
Ooh.
And the fewer bonds you have, the harder it is for you to regain sanity, because your bonds are how you regain sanity, or one.
Ooh, that's. I like this. I like the mechanics of this game. It is so cool.
This is a dark game, man. This is really dark.
My wife.
The rest of you guys can be thinking about it too. We don't need to go one by one. Although after everyone's done it, we'll go over what you've chosen. Now, some of you have lost bonds.
Yeah, my charisma dropped, so
It just means your bonds start lower. You still have the same number of bonds though.
how many is
So
that?
4. Everybody has 4.
Okay, and then I'll have to drop one of those.
No, it's just the score for them drop. So each bond, like I said,
Oh, okay.
think of them as a blade of armor.
Okay.
So
And
each
mine's
bond
already
has a
dinged
certain
up.
number of points, and yours
Okay.
is already dinged up all across the
Okay.
board.
All right.
Okay, I think I got all 4 of my bonds.
Sure, let's hear
decided,
them.
I decided to go with my father, Samuel Okori. Man's been raising me my entire life and has taught me everything I know, morality-wise and whatnot. My beautiful American wife, Abigail Okori, by my side for.
Oh, we've got a wife. This will be fun.
Don't take her away. Oh, I don't want to say the next one because I was going to say now I have a son, Kwame. Is my shining beacon in life. Pastor Michael, who really helped me out of some dark times.
Okay, so we have family and we have a pastor.
Yes.
All right. Oh boy. Oh, you're gonna be fun. Because it's not that you're putting these people in the line of fire. I mean, I can use them that way, but what's going to happen as you start down the spiral of losing sanity, your character is going to start making problems with these people. Like you're going to end up divorcing your wife. You're going to end up beating your kid. Stuff like that. Yeah,
It's a dark game. It's a very dark
it's a dark game.
I'm ready for this spiral.
Who's next? Anybody else got their 4?
Yeah, I've got my 4. I can run through them.
All right, go ahead.
All right, I've got my ex-wife, Nancy.
Oh.
That's how you want to go, right there.
I've got. I also have a pastor. I've got Father Callahan, who runs the local outreach program. I also have my pusher, Sammy, and my friend on the street, Ramrod.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. I haven't come
Go
up.
for it, Chuck.
Still working on names. I've only got 3 so far. First off, I'm presuming I've already pissed my parents off enough, so I'm going with my grandfather because he served in the big one, so he kind of gets some of the shit that I have to go through.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Then I got my AA sponsor. He's already got my back. No names yet. Then I got my drinking buddy when I don't feel like talking to my AA sponsor. Shit. Then I need to come up with another. We'll just go with another drinking buddy.
Yeah,
Two
sure.
good friends. One of them served too, but not quite in the same way as I did.
All right.
Could you make
and
it one of
so-
us, or can it not be one of us? Could
At
you
the
try
start,
each other?
let's not have it one of you for
Okay.
plot reasons, which I'll explain next. You can
kill my wife.
earn bonds through the game, though, so you can eventually start tapping each other as bonds. So
All become
everyone's
friends.
done. We have characters. All right. So here's the setup. Okay, you guys have all served together, at least on one or two missions. Maybe not all at once, but you do know each other. Okay. If one of you wanted to be the commander of one of those missions when you were all together, say so. If not, we don't need to have a commander.
I vote the one of the two of you.
I'm going
Well,
Commander
with,
could have died, so we don't have to have one.
yeah, I'm good with not being the commander either.
I'm
I'm
a
going.
spy. I don't think it makes sense for me to be a commander.
All right, no problem. He got a dirt bath and he's out of the picture. So Delta Green was an official sanctioned government program into the beginnings of Vietnam. And then an op went really bad, really, really bad. And they had to expunge Delta Green from the books. No longer government supported. The people that were agents within Delta Green either got consumed by other branches and put into other jobs, or they went rogue because they have seen too much. They know that there's a fight going on and they refuse to lay down their arms. Okay. You guys are those. Yeah. They're what they call the cowboys, the people that, even though your government isn't supporting you anymore, you haven't given up the fight. You've lost too much and you know what the stakes are. That being said, there are still people within the government that funnel help, sometimes cash, and certainly leads to the Cowboys as seen fit. But it is not sanctioned anymore. It's definitely off the books. This is so black bag project that there is nothing that links people together with this. So think of it as Delta Green has a cell structure. So when you get together for a mission, typically people don't give their names. They all go by code names. It's so that you can't rat out someone else if you get caught. So you can't give up the conspiracy if someone official catches one of you trying to hunt down the rest of the Cowboys, right? So you all work in these cell structures where there is somebody at the top that knows everything, but the links are few and far between. Okay. Because of this, because of how the war ended for you guys, you were brought back into the US through, we'll just call them shady means. Okay. But because of how the war ended for you, you're officially dead on the books. Okay. You can't hold a traditional job because you don't have a social security number that belongs to a live person anymore. The government is after you. So you can't really have a very public persona unless you've done some extensive changes to how you look. So my question, and we're going to start with Kay. How do you earn a living? How do you provide for your family when you don't exist? Again, 1974, Nixon just left office through the whole Watergate conspiracy thing.
I was gonna say reporter, but I don't know how I'd justify being a reporter without a social.
Oh no, you could definitely be a reporter. There were lots of freelance photographers and reporters during this time.
So
Lots of them.
I make my living as a reporter as I use my training to help me get in infiltrating areas that people normally don't want me in. And of the whole Watergate scandal exposure thing.
Oh, okay, very nice. So, you're a reporter. Have you created a false identity for yourself?
By.
Yeah, it's your choice. You would have over time been funneled some funds, given some help making fake IDs, that sort of. So
Are
if
are
you
you
have a
Woodward?
false identity,
Yeah, I made a called Savona.
okay, and it stands up well enough that you can get a driver's license, that sort of thing. You know, if the heavies in the government really started digging, it wouldn't hold up too well, but it's good enough for public, especially since there's not really computer databases yet. Everything's paper. It takes months or years to get things checked. All right, good. So we have a reporter. Matt, how do you eke out a living?
I sell my skills on the streets, and that's how I make a living. I'm homeless. I just kind of feed my addiction to get by and try to forget what I've seen. So I am a trained doctor. I'm a trained physician. So I will sell whatever those skills are to people in the streets. People on the streets need those skills as well.
All right, and have you arranged a fake identification for yourself, or when I say that, I mean like legitimately, like you have a legitimate fake identification, or you just give people a different name
I
and
just
you
give a
have it
different
done.
name.
All
I'm
right,
just kind of known as, like, I don't know, like Fixer or Doc. I'm known as Doc on the streets.
talk. All right, that'll work. And Chuck, how about you?
My I make ends meet. I'm a bouncer at a seedy ass dive bar. That's how
Okay,
I get the little bit of
paid under
cheddar
the
in me.
table. You take cash, and have you established a good fake identity, or are you just not giving your real name out when people ask?
Uh, I'm not giving my name out. I would presume I'm not using, when Delta calls and says, "Oh, we got a job," they have a name that they would use. But oh shit, I would probably go by like some cool single name like Madonna, but not Madonna. Uh, I will go with Brick. They call me Brick.
All right, they call you Brick. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys some role play pointers here, and then if we can take just a quick break, I need some water. When I come back, we're actually we'll do an introduction to the Notorious GM channel, etc., and we're going to just do the setup, the start, and we'll end it there for the night. Is that all right?
Sounds
Sounds
good.
great.
All right. So here's your role playing. Here's what you're going to take off. When Delta Green needs agents for a particular task, what they do is, especially during this time where communication is, I mean, you're limited to telephone. There's not cell phones, although pagers are a thing. Only wealthy people really have pagers. But they put ads in national papers like New York Times, Washington Post, things that you can get in any city in the United States. And they put them in the want ads, or they put them in like the obituaries, things like that. And what you're looking for is when you're in need of a job, or some of you, especially you guys, you're the dedicated, you've seen the bad stuff, you're looking for the fight. You keep up with these papers. And so you will see an ad in the paper that says like you've won a night to the opera. A night to the opera is the code name for a mission. Okay, what they do is they'll say the lucky number is, and they'll give a number and they'll give a time. All of you know to look whenever you see this in a newspaper, you look in a particular book. The book is called The Green Book. It is a book that was published as late as 1964. It was a guidebook for African Americans that traveled across the states, and it told them where places they could eat, lodge, and be safe in. Okay. By 1974, this book could be found in most public libraries, but you might also have a copy on you. And so when it says the lucky number is, you turn to that page, and there's usually an establishment listed on that page. That's where you're supposed to meet. and it gives you a time. All right. So what I want you guys to figure out is role play how you have the book. Either you have it or you go to a library or something to get the book and you look it up. How you have the funds to get there, if you're not already in that state. So you guys all broke up after getting out of Nam and being brought back into the States. So you're probably all in different states. Let's just do that real quick. Kay, where are you? What state in the US are you in?
California.
Okay. Matt?
I'm in Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago. Okay. And Chuck?
Let's go with Missouri.
All right. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to give you introduction to the channel and telling you how you see this in the paper. Then I'm going to ask each of you how you go about getting to the location. All right.
Sounds
So
good.
let's take 5. Let's take a 5.
And we're back.
Okay. Hello. If anyone's watching,
Yeah,
Hello.
anybody in
a
the stream tonight? Handful of people. All right.
Other
Yeah.
than us?
yeah, we got some people in there.
Hey, people.
Well, we're going to make a second introduction now. As this is being recorded in audio, I'm going to cut it up a bit for my own stream, so those that are listening and watching are not confused. We are going to reintroduce things again. So we are with the Notorious DMGs tonight. 3 of our other DMs are joining me. Kay, why don't you introduce yourself and your channel?
Hey guys, my name is Khalil Roberson. I run a YouTube channel where I basically just chat all things like tips and tricks for dungeon masters. I also make kind of interesting monsters that people seem to like, and I run a Discord channel where I have a large group of storytellers that just hang out and love to talk and enjoy tabletop role-playing games, and that's really what I do.
And Matt.
Hey, I'm Matt, aka Jowzam. I run Jowzam's Den on Twitch and YouTube, where we do live plays and actual plays of games. And after we play them, we bring on the creators or the designers, and we chat with them. We have a little interview, and then we do it all over again with a new game. We introduce our characters. Sure, I am playing Thomas Kreutzmann, who
you can
is
introduce as we cut in. We'll just do
okay.
it that way.
Let's do it that way. Okay, thanks everybody.
And Chuck.
Hey, I am Chuck, the HBIC of the Notorious. No, we are the Notorious DMG. I'm got the wrong channel of Defenders of Kobold. Sometimes I don't think so good, but mostly we play Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition over on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Defenders of Kobold. We're also currently running some 4th edition, and after that we're going to Dungeon Crawl Classics. Yeah, we're a fantastic group of dumbasses, and my name is Chuck.
And I'm Bert. I am the GM and host of Steam, Steel, and Murder, the RPG actual play podcast. And tonight we are offering up Delta Green. This is a first time, I believe, for everyone but me in here. Is that correct? Anyone else played Delta Green before?
Correct.
I
Not at
have
all.
not played it, yeah.
All right, and this is the new Delta Green by Arc Dream Publishing. It's its own system, no longer tied to Call of Cthulhu or the D20 system. I'm going to give a little background to what our story is, and then we'll introduce the characters. So, the year is August 20th, 1974. Nixon's just resigned from office, and a new Buick will set you back about $4,300. Your unit fought the good fight in Nam, and we aren't talking about securing democracy around the globe. You saw some shit in Nam, horrors from beyond the stars, that sort of shit that your government doesn't like the unwashed masses knowing about. At the time, you were licensed and supported by Uncle Sam. That's before things all went to hell one very, very bad op. To your government and friends and your family, you were killed in action. To a certain shadowy organization that siphons funds from dear old Uncle Sam, you're very much alive and very much not retired. Welcome to the fight on your own home soil. It's a Tuesday. It's paper day. Kay, which paper do you pick up? Seeing in the the one ads, A Night at the Opera, winning number 42, 10 o'clock p.m.
Already, just got off the other op. I move over to my bookshelf inside my apartment, and I pull out the book and flip over to, what was it, page 14?
Page 42.
42. Flip over to that page, and what's the building place I'm supposed to be meeting up at?
Page 42 is a full page ad for Mama Dean's Fresh Fried Greens in a place called Port Hueneme, California in Ventura County.
Oh, I don't think I need to take the jet this time. Rob some sucker and take some money. And then I'm just going to go out on the street corner and look at someone who doesn't seem to be paying all too much attention, either stuck in the newspaper or in conversation, just and relieve them of their coinage.
All right.
From there, I'll pay for a taxi to drive me down to Mama
Dean's Fresh
Mama
Fried
Dean.
Greens. Are you telling your family that you're stepping out? Are you just
Oh, my
driving
wife is
down?
at work and my son's already at school. They'll drill out on reporting.
Very good. Matt, what paper are you looking at when you see the ad for A Night at the Opera, winning number 42, 10 o'clock p.m.?
I'm looking at the Chicago Tribune. I'm nudged out of a deep sleep where I'm sleeping off the drug-induced coma from the night before, and I'm nudged and I'm woken up to a paper being dropped on me, and I kind of come to and I look around, and whoever dropped it is gone, and it's open to the page with the ad for Night of the Opera, and I right away I freeze up, and I know what that means, and I know I'm being called on, but I have to, before I do this, the demons, the things that I saw overseas that have troubled me and led me to this life on the street, flood back, and he seeks out one last hit before he decides to do do the only thing he knows how to get there. He's broke, he's penniless, he's living on the streets, and he's gonna have to hitchhike / ride the rails all the way to California.
Gonna do some old-fashioned hoboing.
Yeah.
Ride those rails. All right. Chuck, which are your favorites you're perusing when you see the ad for A Night at the Opera, winning
Well,
number 42?
I go and I pick up a copy of the Washington Post down by the corner, flip to the wanted ads, and I find the ad, and fuck. I head back into the bar and up the stairs through the back of the kitchen to my small studio apartment that I rent from the owner, Norm. Under my bed is a loose floorboard where I pry it up and get out a small metal box. Inside is a copy of the book. I look at, all right, I'm going to California, and I grab a small wad of cash that I keep in there. And as I'm leaving the bar, I tell the young girl working behind it, tell Norm I'll be back. And I head down to the Greyhound station.
All right. Greyhound, rail, someone's taking a cab. So you'll each reach Mama Dean's Fresh Fried Greens on a different day, but the ad says 10 o'clock p.m. Okay, what is your character's name? Khalil, character's name.
Sorry, I muted myself. My character's real name is Kato Okori.
All right, Kanto, you arrive in Port Hueneme, California. It takes a little bit of driving before you can find Mama Dean's Fresh Fried Greens. It's a small soul food shack. Not great neighborhood, not too bad either. The tagging and spray painting of local gangs is fairly subdued. Most businesses take some care to try and wipe them off. Seems like it's a losing battle, though. Do you arrive on time? Early? Late?
Always early. Gotta make sure I scope out the area first.
Always early. There are a few cars in the parking lot. Looks like Mama Dean has got mostly foot traffic, though. It looks like a lot of the locals have stopped in for her particular type of dining experience.
I hop out of the taxi cab, tell the driver, "Thank you very much for the ride. Here's an extra tip." And I toss him an extra $5 I procured off of someone else. Pull out my suitcase, pull out my reporter badge, put on Cleon Savarani,
All right.
and then I move into Mama Dean's and sit at whatever table is currently empty and just scope out the area and just start pad as if I'm doing a silent review.
Sure. Your trained eye noticed that one car in the parking lot did sort of stand out. It's a big Cadillac, and it's got a license plate from out of state. It's the only one. Nice car, license plate that doesn't belong here. Take a seat.
Is there
There's,
anyone in the car?
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Is there anyone in the car?
No.
Are you cut out for me? What was that?
No, no one in the car.
All right, so when I go into Mama Dean's shop, I'm gonna look around to see if I can notice anyone who more affluent than the usual customers that she would most likely get.
Everyone here now looks like they're pretty much from the same neighborhood, or at least they have the same taste in fashion. You're seeing a lot of blue jeans, corduroys, floral print shirts for the time and era. Same thing. Everything looks pretty normal. There's one guy that's got dark sunglasses on and a slouch hat, dressed like the locals for the most part, but he's got a big photo album out in front of him. He seems to be paging through it. Every now and then he'll look at a new customer that comes in. You notice he gave you a good look up and down.
I'm gonna walk over to the gentleman and put down my notebook and extend out my hand and give him a bright white pearly smile. Cleon Savona, and your name, sir?
Call me Argyle. And instead of placing his hand in yours, he places a manila envelope in your hand. You notice that it's got something in it other than just paperwork as well, as it's got a little heft to it. He tips his hat to you and walks out the door.
I just sit down where he was at his table, and normally when I go on these missions, are there other people that
Sometimes you meet in a group. Sometimes a rallying place is established.
so I'll just open it up, but I'll try to open it up so that I can easily reapply the adhesive. That way it looks like I never opened it.
Okay, fair enough. There are several sheets of paper inside, some Polaroid snapshots, and looks like a hotel key.
Do I know where the hotel is?
Sure. It's got a big plastic fob on the end. It says a red carpet, and it actually has an address on the back of the fob. The key has got a number stamped in it, number 13.
I'm gonna look over to one of the locals and ask, "Do you know where the red carpet is?"
How are you dressed?
Um, I'm dressed in sort of a brown suit with stripes down, wearing a fedora and a clean shaven beard, and very dark skin with a bright white smile.
The local looks you up and down, looks down at his plate of greens and beans. Might be I know where it is. My memory isn't so good these days, though, you see. Man can't afford a cup of coffee in the morning. It's hard to remember things. Kind of looks at you expectantly.
I see. Mama Dean, looking at if it's a woman behind the bar.
It is. And it's an immense woman.
Ah,
You can tell that she's got a very bad wig on. She's got like a lot of scars on her hands that you get from working in and around a lot of fried grease and uh, doing a lot of kitchen work. Just immense hips, just more round than she is tall. She's got a huge smile on her face, though, as she's slinging down plates of just good, wholesome food down to everybody on the table.
Mama Dean, can you get me some coffee over here for this gentleman and some biscuits and white gravy for me?
She gives you a very brisk nod, and she looks over at the customer you're pointing to, and she just shakes her head with a smile. Comes out with a plate, sends a cup of coffee over to the man.
All right, sir, let's have ourselves a conversation. I sit down and begin eating my biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, they're quite good. He enjoys his cup of coffee and tells you, well, red carpet in. He says, you want to go out this way? He points out the window. You're going to go a block over, a block left. You can't miss it. It's got a big red roof. One of them newfangled rippled things. Looks like a carpet.
Appreciate that very much, sir.
Appreciate the
What's
coffee.
scoop on what's been happening in this area?
Oh, the usual.
Gangs, ruffians, stuff like that.
He just nods. He says, you know the usual.
I come in here once in a while. Thank you very much for the conversation. I appreciate it. What was your name, friend?
Didn't give it to you. Didn't give it to you.
I'll have a good day.
A
I
few more
head towards the
eyes
arena.
follow you out the door. We'll cut to the red carpet. It is a 3-story motel. They give rates for daily, weekly, and extended.
I head right on in.
All right, find your door 13.
And I'm purposely, after I leave Mama Dean's, I'm purposely going to go as either blending in the crowds if there are any, or hiding in alleyways to avoid being seen going into this motel.
Okay. That's good. You got any particular skills in shaking off any sort of people watching?
I have 50% in stealth.
All right, good enough. You get to your door. You don't believe anyone's followed you. You haven't. You do a couple times around to make sure that the same people aren't on the streets. You're pretty satisfied that nobody's followed.
All right. Once I go into, before I go into the establishment, I open up my briefcase and go into one of the alleys and change from my nice suit attire of and get dressed in sort of more streetwear with the jeans and floral shirts a little bit better and be not seen as the reporter. And then head right on in and go to my room.
All right. So your paperwork explains to you that you're the first one to accept the mission. You're the rallying point. This room's been rented for 2 months. You can use it for that extent. They ask you to wait 2 weeks to see who might else show up for this operation. The packet also includes the address to a green box. So in Delta Green lore, what a green box is a storage container. It's usually like a store and go or one of these places that you use to store stuff you can't fit in your house, but you don't want to get rid of. And Delta Green agents will often establish them in as many places as they can, and often you'll find things that are useful for operations: guns, ammo, night vision goggles, just whatever the team that was last there thought was useful and got rid of. So you have an address to a green box. So we're gonna cut here, and the rest of you guys, since you're showing him in various ways, will play out a very similar scene. You'll arrive at Mama Dean's. A man going through a photo book will place you as being an operative, hand you an envelope and a key, and so over the next couple of weeks there, you all are established in the hotel, and you are gratified to know each other. You have served together before. You have a good idea of what your capabilities are, and we will cut there as you guys are going to go over your paper.
All right.
Cool.
Chose Khalil to be our point man there. Sorry, the rest of you guys didn't get a proper introduction as well.
No, that's okay.
That's all right.
It's all right. Very cool.
You actually be a player instead of a DM.
And I'm gonna cut that and add that in as the beginning of the story when we pick up next time. So hopefully you guys find this interesting, or at least mildly interested in the system.
Oh, I love this setting.
Quite
I've been
interesting.
wanting to play Delta Green for so long.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm hyped for it.
Nice. And so all the things that Khalil did there, it's like there was no stress, no pressure. So you you just roll with the role playing. Assume that you can do it if you have the skill for it, and you go without a roll unless the roll is important for something.
Sounds
All right.
good.
I like that.
All right. Well, I think this is a good point. I'm going to go ahead and kick my stream off.
Sounds good.
Good
Hi,
night,
guys.
Defenders of Kobold.
All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you back shortly.